Would you go into Google and use the Google form and go ahead and sign in? And that goes for everybody online as well. Go ahead and sign into the Google form if you haven't already done so. For attendance, please. You already have. So from yesterday, do you guys have any questions about it? Fairly straightforward. Okay, so go ahead and get your homework out and make sure they vote it past that point. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead with the lesson. I don't believe there's a warm-up today. Okay, so there's no warm-up today, so don't worry about that. So I can take out a piece of paper for notes. This is parallel and perpendicular lines. And I am going to do most of my writing here on this side because I know it's kind of hard to see the board here today. And I do have to run this like a regular class because I've got 24 people in this class, I think. And, well, every gets kind of funny. For those of you not here, there's 2 people in class right now. Okay, 2. All right. So the first thing we're going to go over is the parallel line and what's significant about them. Parallel lines have the same slope, but different y-intercepts. And the fact is that they never cross. Okay. So if I gave you this equation, y equals 3x plus 1, and I gave you this equation, y equals 3x minus 7, and you graph them, you're going to graph 2 lines that won't cross each other. on a graph, very, very roughly, they look like this. They would never cross. The thing that you have to remember specifically for today's lesson is same slopes with different y's. You're going to need that information. To determine whether lines are parallel, given two equations, you need to put them in slope and y-intercept form. So if I give you two equations, here's one, and there's the other one. To be able to accurately tell me if these are parallel lines, you need to put this one in slope and y-intercept form. You need to solve it for y. Okay? So I'm going to start by adding 6x to both sides. And then I'm going to divide by 8. Get y equals 3/4 x minus 3. So you can tell by the slopes, 3/4 and 3/4 and the different y-intercepts, that those lines are parallel. Okay, so again, I want to stress that to determine if their lines are parallel, you have to put them in slope and y-intercept form. Where we use this is where we start writing equations. We're going to write parallel equations in point-slope form. So I want to write an equation for a line that's parallel to the given line. So it'd be parallel to y equals negative 2x plus 3, and it goes through the ordered pair, negative 3, 5. So we're going to write an equation for a line that goes through that ordered pair, and it's parallel to the given line. So let me ask, since you two are the only two here, what will the slope of the new line be if it's parallel? Negative 2x. It'd be negative 2. So you have the negative 2, and you have a point. So we're going to plug it into point-slope form. We're going to plug it into this form of the equation because that's the information that I have. So I'm going to do y minus 5 equals negative 2 x plus 3. And that's just me plugging it into point-slope form. And then from here, you will need to go ahead and solve it for y. Get the y by itself. So I'm going to distribute first. And when I do, I get y minus 5 equals negative 2x minus 6. And then I'm going to add 5 to both sides. And we're going to get y equals negative 2x minus 1. So now I have written an equation for a line that was parallel to the given line that went through that order pair. Do either one of you have questions? Okay. I'll get to questions online in just a second. Let's do a couple more of these just to make sure we're clear. Okay, so I want to do another one of these. Talk all over me. So I want to write an equation for a line that's parallel to this line. Y equals 6x minus 2 that goes to the ordered pair 0, 0. Y minus 0 equals 6 because that's the slope, they're parallel. X minus 0. When you finish it, you should end up with y equals 6x or y equals 6x plus 0. I don't care if you put that in there. But these two lines are parallel because they have the same slope and different y-intercepts. Good so far? I'm gonna write one up here and let you guys work it out, and you can tell me the answer. And when you're doing this, make sure you know the slope of the first line. So if it's not in slope of the y-intercept form, you put it in slope of the y-intercept form. But all of my examples are. So here's my first example for you. Let's do my first one. Y equals -7/2x plus 6. I want you to write a line that's parallel to that. That goes through the ordered pair, -4, -6. What's the slope of the new line? -7/2. 7/2, because remember the slopes are the same. So it's the same as this. So we're going to do y plus 6 equals -7/2 x plus 4. I'm going to distribute here. We get y plus 6 equals -7/2 x minus 28/2. 28/2 reduces to 14, so minus 14. Subtract 6 from both sides, and you're going to get y equals -7/2x minus 20. And that's how you write equations for lines that are parallel. Questions on that? Fairly straightforward. Okay. So now let's talk about perpendicular lines. And that step is the same for perpendicular. It's just, I gotta say something different about their slopes. Perpendicular lines are what they call negative reciprocals of each other. Negative reciprocals of each other. So they have negative reciprocal slopes. They have negative reciprocal slopes. And what that means for your slope is that if I give you a slope of 1/3, the negative reciprocal of that would be -3. It means you flip it and change the sign. So if you had a slope that was -2/5, flip it and change the sign. So it becomes positive 5/2. Okay, so that's the deal with perpendicular slopes. So I want to write an equation for a line that's perpendicular to the given line. So it's going to be perpendicular to this line. It goes through the ordered pair, -8, -2. Now this equation is only here for you to get the slope. Please remember, since it's perpendicular, perpendicular, you flip it and change the sign. So if this is 4/1, flip it to make it 1/4 and then make it negative. So your new slope is negative 1/4. So when I plug it into point slope, that's what it looks like. I'm going to distribute this 1/4. So we get y plus 2 equals 1/4 x. Then 8 times 1 is 8. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Yes. Oh, wait, thank you. So it just makes those negative. Yeah, thank you. It should be negative 1/4. I'm going to write it down there. Just get it here. Thank you. So then I'm going to get y plus 2 equals negative 1/4 x minus 2. Then I'm going to subtract 2 from both sides. And you're going to get y equals negative 1/4 x minus 4. So this line is perpendicular to this line. So if I were to graph them, they'd form 90-degree angles. Let me do another one of the perpendicular ones. So I'm going to write an equation for a line that's going to be perpendicular to this line. And goes through this ordered pair. So perpendicular to the given line that goes through that ordered pair. So if you pick negative 3/2 as your slope, that is correct. Get that equation, y minus 4 equals negative 3/2, parentheses x plus 4, then distribute. Add 4 to both sides. We're going to get y equals negative 3/2x minus 11. Do either one of you have questions about solving these? Okay. Now you go ahead and get started on the homework. So if you have questions, you can ask me and I will help you. And I'm going to check to see if anybody online